Not long ago, I made a video on fusing urethane rubber belting material. And as part of that, I was measuring the temperature of a piece of steel that I was using to heat the ends of the two belts. Well, somebody pointed out that the shiny piece of steel that I was using, which is shined up like this, has low emissivity. That is, it gives a misleadingly low reading when measured with an infrared thermometer like this. And that's what I was doing. So I decided to find out, well, how much difference it actually makes. And it does make a difference. The way I intend to test that out is to use Tempil sticks. And I have one that measures at 300, 500, and 600 degrees Fahrenheit. And also to pay attention to the color that the steel is changing, as that has been an indicator that people have used for a long time to tell roughly what the temperature of shiny steel might be. The idea is that around 400 degrees or so, it starts to turn a light yellow. Around 500 degrees or so, it's turning a distinct bluish purple, and definitely purple around 600. Those are rough numbers. You'd have to look those up in a table. I'm just speaking from memory right now. But of the methods that we're going to try tonight, the one that I believe in most by far, and have the most confidence in, is the Tempil sticks, as those are carefully made and calibrated so that they can be used reliably by folks that really need to know what the temperature is of a part. So, without much further ado, let's go ahead and heat up this piece of metal. You can see that I cut part way through it here, and the reason for that is just because I just want to heat the end there, and it'll take a lot less time to heat that little square of steel more or less isolated except by this little join here, compared to having the whole piece connected and having all the heat radiate out of this end, or rather transfer out of this end through the rest of the piece. So that just makes it easier to heat the end there. That's what we're up to. And I only shined up one side of the steel so that I'll be able to check the temperature with the heat gun on the one side, and then just flip it right over and measure the temperature on the other side. Before we even get started, let's just try that and see what we get. Here I'm measuring 75.9 degrees, and here I'm measuring 93 degrees. And I'll tell you right now, by feeling, that 93 is probably right, because that feels warm. And it's that low emissivity that's throwing us off here. So let's go ahead and use just an ordinary propane torch and heat this end up a bit and see what goes on. I'll kind of try to watch for color changes, and hopefully you'll be able to see that as well. Well, we've heated it for a little while there. Let's just see if that's doing much. Check this side. Well, we're up to 166 degrees, and the Tempil stick doesn't yet melt. So that jibes, and there's no color change that I can see. Starting to smoke a little bit, and maybe there's a hint of yellowishness there, but you can see that sure enough the Tempil stick melts freely. What about the 500? No, it doesn't. It almost does, but it doesn't. And there's just the faintest hint of yellow. So let's go ahead and keep on heating this up and see what we see. I'll just try to guess that if it took that long to heat to 300, well, what's it going to take to get to 500? Could we be getting there now? I see a little faint yellow. Maybe you can see that. Let's see what it says on the back. It says 494 degrees. So let's try the 500 and see if it melts. And sure enough, it does. But you see, we're only getting a light yellow. What about the temperature we measure here? I measure 133 degrees on that side, but on this side, 405 degrees, 430 degrees. So does the Tempil stick still melt there? Not really. So let's go ahead and hit it again. Bring it back up to 500 or so. Now I'm starting to see a definite yellow. I hope you can pick that up. Does the 600 melt? Nope. Does the 500 melt? Yes. So we're right in that someplace above 500 slightly and below 600, and you can see that there's kind of a yellowish cast. But here I'm measuring 151, and here I'm measuring 439 or so on the back. Probably has cooled off again. Yes, the 500 will not melt. So let's try it one more time. Let's see if we can get up to 600. Now we're getting that distinct, you can see an area at least where there's a distinct purplish color occurring. Does the 600 melt? Not quite. It's close. It's close. Keep on going here, and you can see the colors progressing on across, and now it's taking on a distinct blue color. So let's try that 600 on there. Sure enough, melts freely. I can feel it's very slick. What do we measure here? We're measuring 200 degrees. What about here? 580 degrees. So look at that. Very little temperature on that shiny side, but this temperature rise consistent with what we're seeing with the Tempil sticks on the dull side. So lesson learned. If you want to try to measure the temperature of the steel that you're using, don't shine it up. There's really no need to shine it up for the purpose of making the urethane belt. This was kind of interesting. I'm glad. Thank you for watching, and I'm glad I tried it out. And thank you to the person who pointed out the issue by leaving a comment. Much appreciated.